Good morning students. Today I am demonstrating you the experiment common source JFET amplifier. So here is the circuit diagram of common source JFET amplifier. The aim of the experiment is to design and set up the common source JFET amplifier and then to plot its frequency response and to determine the bandwidth. So for this experiments, the components required are we need JFET junction field effect transistor, that is BFW10, okay, and we need 4 resistances: RD drain resistance with value 1 kilo ohm, source resistance with value 330 ohm, gain gate resistance with value 1 mega ohm, and load resistance 10 kilo ohm. Along with that, we need 2 capacitances of value 0.01 microfarad, and one more capacitance we need 47 microfarad. So all these components we are rigging up on the springboard. Okay, so input we are providing the AC signal, so we need a signal generator. So this is the signal generator, and we need a CRO. Okay, and we need to provide plus 10 volts DC supply. So here is the DC supply. Okay, so all these components we required to conduct this experiment. So first let us see the BFW10. So this is BFW10 transistor. You can observe here it is written on that BFW10, okay, of current value 9 amps. So we are taking this transistor. So how to identify the terminals of the BFW10? So you can observe here is a notch, okay, the terminal nearest to the notch. So this is the nearest one. So this is the source terminal. Okay, from source the next is the drain terminal, and one more terminal is the gate terminal. The shield is left blank. Okay, so we have 3 terminals: source, drain and gate. The terminal nearest to the notch, from there we have to start. So nearest to terminal to the notch is the source, then comes the drain, and next is the gate terminal. So after identifying the terminals, let us start rigging up the circuit. So I have already rigged up the circuit. You can observe here. So this is BFW10. So this is the source terminal. Okay, so source I have connected here. This is the source terminal, so I have connected to this point, and this is after the source we have the drain. So this is the drain terminal, and here is the gate terminal. So all the 3 terminals are connected to different points on the springboard. To the source terminal we have to connect 330 ohm resistor. So you can observe here this is 330 ohm resistor. So in parallel to 330 ohm 47 microfarad is to be connected. So this is 47 microfarad. You can observe here. So this is 47 microfarad. The lengthier terminal indicates the positive and shorter is the negative, or on the capacitance itself we have this indication. So this indication it indicates that it is the negative terminal, and other is the positive terminal. So positive terminal should be connected to the source and negative to the ground terminal. Then to the gate we have to connect 1 mega ohm resistor. So 1 mega ohm resistor is to be connected, okay, between the gate terminal and the ground. So between the gate terminal and ground I have connected 1 mega ohm resistor. And here is the coupling capacitor. So CC1, CC2 are the coupling capacitors. The function of these capacitances are it blocks DC whereas it allows AC signal. So across the input the coupling capacitor is connected, and across the output also we are measuring the output across the drain. So across the drain terminal also the coupling capacitance is connected, and to the drain terminal drain resistance should be connected of 1 kilo ohm. So you can observe here 1 kilo ohm resistor, and here load resistor is connected of 10 kilo ohm. So this load resistance should be connected between the output terminal, that is across the coupling capacitor, and to the common ground. So this is the coupling capacitor, and I have connected that to the common ground. So these are the connections. So here RD, RG, RS with the supply 10 volts, this forms the self bias circuit. So here the JFET is biased using self bias circuit, which can establish the proper operating point. So there are different types of biasing circuits: fixed bias, drain to gate feedback bias, like that. So here in this circuit self bias is used to bias the transistor. So now let us provide plus 10 volts supply. So switch on the power supply. Keep the two terminals, the voltage terminals, in the minimum position and current terminal to the maximum position. So after setting like this, you need to connect the positive terminal to the drain. So I have connected the positive to the drain terminal and negative to the ground, common ground. And now I have to set this to 10 volts. So increase the voltage and set this to 10 volts. Okay, so plus 10 volts DC supply is provided to the drain resistor RD. Now next is we need to provide the voltage AC signal here. Okay, that is the input voltage. So that is provided using the signal generator. So the positive terminal of the signal generator is to be connected to the coupling capacitor, input coupling capacitor, and negative terminal to the common ground. So we need to set this input to 1 volt peak to peak. Amplitude must be 1 volt peak to peak, and frequency we are going to vary the frequency. Initially you can set it to 1 kilohertz. So let us set the frequency to 1 kilohertz. So approximately 1 kilohertz you can see here, frequency 1 kilohertz. And now amplitude. So to set the amplitude we need to observe that on the CRO. So from one channel you connect a probe and short with positive to positive, negative to negative. So you can observe here the sine wave is coming, but the amplitude is more. We need to set this to 1 volt peak to peak. So here is the amplitude terminal. You minimize the amplitude. So I have fully minimized, but still it is not 1 volt. You can observe here, this is the voltage knob here, it is at 1 volt, and the divisions here are 1 division 2, it is approximately 2.4, so it is more than 1 volt. So in order to make it 1 volt peak to peak, press attenuation button here. So when we press attenuation, the amplitude decreases. So once I press the attenuation, for first time if I press, it gets attenuated to 20 dB. Okay, so press once. Now we can observe here the amplitude is very less. Now increase the amplitude. Increase the amplitude and set it to 1 volt. So here also it is 1 volt, and here also it is 1 division. So 1 volt into 1 division gives us 1 volt peak to peak. So I have set the input like this. Now I need to observe the output. So to observe the output, connect one more probe to the another channel of the CRO and connect it to the output. So output is observed across the load resistor. So here I have connected the positive terminal to this point, coupling capacitor and this load. This point I have connected, and negative I have connected to the common ground. So now we need to vary the frequency. Okay, so we need to plot a graph. So the graph is frequency versus the gain in dB. So we need to take the readings of frequency as well as the gain. So how to measure? So this is the tabular column. Input is constant, 1 volt peak to peak. So don't vary the input. Once you set the input, you leave it, don't change. So input amplitude is 1 volt peak to peak. Then this is the tabular column. We are varying the frequency from 50 hertz, then 100, 200 like that up to 2 mega. So already I have taken the readings, so you can observe here. So I have varied the frequency from 100 hertz, so 100, 200, 300 like that up to 1k, then 2k, 3k like that up to 10k, then 20k, 30k, 40k like that up to 1 mega. So after 1 mega, 1.5, 2 mega, 2.5 mega, 3, 4. So in this signal generator up to 4 megahertz we can take. So up to 4 megahertz I have taken the readings. So now let us see. So set the frequency to 100 hertz. Okay, so we can increase or decrease the frequency using this knob, frequency range knob. Just a minute. Yeah, it is starting from 1 hertz now. We need 100 hertz. So I have made this frequency variable knob fully maximum. So this range is up to 9 hertz. So again if you press, it increases from 9 hertz. So 9 hertz to up to 80 hertz it is there. We need 100 hertz. So press it again and adjust this knob to 100 hertz. So approximately 100 hertz now. Frequency is 100 hertz. So here you can observe the input. Initially the output is very less. The amplitude is very less. So go on increasing the frequency from 100 hertz. So you can observe it is increasing. The amplitude is increasing. So now up to 800 hertz I have increased. So still increase the frequency. Yeah, you can observe here. So as I go on increasing the frequency, the amplitude also go on increasing here. Okay, so you can set it to um, so you can observe here the amplitude. As we increase the frequency, the amplitude also go on increases. Okay, so then it becomes constant. You can observe here from 10k approximately. So here I have tabulated the readings also. You can observe here for 100 hertz I got 0.4, for 200 0.5, like that it goes on increasing. At 3 kilohertz I got 2 volts. Okay, so this 2 volts it remains constant. Okay, it remains constant till 1 mega. So like that you can get different values sometimes. So nearly it is 94.500 kilohertz. So approximately it is 100 kilohertz. So the you can observe the gain is not increasing or decreasing. It remains constant. So So this is from 100k to 900k. So after 1 megahertz or after 900 megahertz, it may start decreasing. So you can observe here it is very amplitude is very small. Okay, so finally it decreases like this. So you can observe it increases initially, then it becomes constant, then it decreases. Okay, so you need to measure the output. So how to measure the output? See, you can observe here input is 1 volt peak to peak. It is constant. It remains constant from 100 hertz to 4 megahertz. It remains constant. And output you can observe this is the constant reading I am getting here. So you need to measure here. See here how many divisions it is. One division, and after 1 it is 0.2, 0.3. So 0.3 into 1. So 0.3 into 1 is 1 volt. Like that you need to calculate for each frequency. So like that I have calculated. You can observe the readings here. So I have measured the output voltage. So I got the constant voltage from 3 kilohertz to 1 megahertz. Okay, then this output voltage from output voltage and input voltage we need to calculate the gain. So gain is nothing but V naught by Vi. Vi is 0.4 here and Vi is 1 volt peak to peak. So 0.4 by 1 is 0.4. Then here 1 by 1 is 1 volt, like that. V naught by Vi you need to calculate. Then you need to convert this gain to dB, decibels. So how to convert? The formula is 20 log 10 V naught by Vi. So use this 20 log 10. V naught by Vi is nothing but the gain. So 20 log 10 of 0.4 is minus 7.95. Similarly, 20 log 10 of 0.5 is minus 6.020. Similarly, 20 log 10 of 0.6 is minus 4.4. For 20 log 1, 20 log of 1 is 0. Then 20 log of 1.1 it is 0.8. For 20 log of 2 it is 6.0. So this is called mid-band gain. Where the gain remains constant, this is called mid-band gain. So the mid-band gain I got 6 decibels. Okay. After that it decreases like this. So after tabulating the readings, we need to plot the graph. So the frequency response will be like this. So I have already plotted the frequency response also. You can observe this graph. So x-axis is the frequency axis. Okay, frequency in hertz. So initially I have taken 100 hertz because we are varying from 100 hertz, 100. Then corresponding you can see here, this is 200. If this is 100 hertz, this is 200, 300, 400, 500 like that up to 1K. Then 2K, 3K, 4K like that up to 10K. Then 20K, 30K, 40K like that up to 100K. After 100K, 200K, 300K, 400 like that up to 1 megahertz. After that it is 2 mega, 3 mega, 4 mega. Up to 4 mega I have taken. So now you have to mark the points on the graph. So for 100 hertz I got minus 7. See, y-axis is the gain in dB. So observe the dB here. So origin 0 is here. So below the 0 we have the negative points up to minus 7, and above 0 plus positive points. So maximum is 6 volts. So here see, take anywhere the origin, that is 0 decibels. Okay, so above 0 is the positive points. So from here to here I have taken 5 decibels. Okay, 0 to 5 means this is 0 means 1 dB, 2 dB, 3, 4, 5 like that. After 5 again 5 means 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 like that. And below 0 dB, this is minus 5 means minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, then minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 9, minus 10. Now after marking like this, you need to mark the gain on the graph sheet. So for 100 hertz we got minus 7. See, for 100 this is 100, so this is minus 5, minus 6, minus 7. Okay, then for 200 hertz it is minus 6. For for 500 I got minus 4. So minus 4 I have marked. So like that. For 700 it is 0. For 700 it is 0. Then for 800 it is 0.8. Approximately I have taken as 1 dB. So I have marked that 1. Then for 900 it is 1.5 dB. Then for 1 kilohertz it is 2.9 means approximately 3 dB. So like that, mark the points. So the constant gain is from 3K. You can observe here, this is 3K. 3 kilohertz. So this 3 kilohertz, from 3 kilohertz the gain remains constant up to 1 mega. So here the gain remains constant here. After 1 mega it starts decreasing. So mark the points on the graph sheet. Then you smoothly join all the points. Okay, so you will get a graph like this. So after this you need to take 3 dB down. Okay, so the constant gain denotes AV mid. So this is the mid gain. Okay, so here the mid gain is nothing but the constant gain, that is 6 dB. So this is the 6 dB. So 6 dB minus 3, we get approximately 3 dB around, or we can take 0.707 of AV mid. AV mid here is 6.020. So 0.707 into 6.020, approximately we get here, that is approximately I got 3.9. So I marked 4. Okay, minus 4. At this minus 4 I marked the dotted line. Then this dotted line where it touches the curve, okay, where it touches this graph curve, so from there you need to draw a line. Okay, you extend the line below. Here also this dotted line where it touches this point, this curve, you drag this line below. Okay, so this gives us the cutoff frequencies. So this is the F1 lower cutoff frequency and F2 is the upper cutoff frequency. So when I drop this line below, so F1 it is at 500 hertz. Okay, it is at, so the lower cutoff frequency is 500 hertz. Similarly the upper cutoff frequency is 6.2 mega I got. Okay, so bandwidth is nothing but F2 minus F1, upper cutoff minus lower cutoff frequency. So F2 is 6.2 mega, F1 is 500 hertz. So 6.2 mega minus 500, approximately I will get 6.2 megahertz only. So this is the bandwidth. So this completes the experiment. So you need to rig up the circuit. You have to take the readings, then you need to plot its frequency response, and from frequency response you need to determine the bandwidth. Thank you.